Hello everyone, and this is BioPhoenix here, and today we're going to be doing a pickup video for the month of September of 2016. And all I have to say for now is that, well, I've been doing really good, it's just I've been doing very busy and all that kind of stuff. But with that being said, I don't want to go on too much about here, because I have a feeling this one will be a pretty long one, but like they normally are. But like I said before, there's going to be like shortcuts and everything if you just want to see specific things, so make sure to look in the description in case, this is too long for you. So, first thing, let's start out with the shoutouts. And the first one I want to mention here, his name is Newbie420. I hope I said that right. Well, anyways, he's actually a new channel that I found out about very recently. In fact, he actually started making videos like maybe about like a month ago or so. And all I have to say is that he's actually pretty damn awesome from what I've watched. So, like, he has like one pickup video, and in that pickup video, he's like, like actually talking about the games, giving out some good information, some good knowledge about it, and of course, just some really good passion going on there. And he's also done a review on an NES game called Narc, which is a pretty good review. I really liked it. He doesn't have a whole lot of videos right now because, like I said, he's a very, very recent channel, but all I have to say here is that I definitely go sub to that guy. He definitely needs to, to start support and all that kind of stuff. So the next shoutout that I'm going to be giving out here is SNES Mapper, and I've actually been watching his channel for a while, and I just figured I might as well give him a shoutout here because I forgot to do it like way before. But yeah, he's actually a really good channel, really nice guy. He does a lot of like pickup videos and tells you about like the games and all that kind of good stuff. And of course he also does first impressions on games, which is basically kind of like a review, kind of, sort of, but yeah, they're really good. And he also does live streams every now and then, and as again, they're also pretty good from what I remember watching of them. And yeah, he's just a really nice dude. I can definitely go like recommend that channel, so yeah, check out SNES Mapper. And the final one that I'm going to have here, because as you know, I only do 3 of them per month, and that is a really funny name. It's Drink a Beer and Play a Game. Like, I don't know, you just can't get any more simple than that, but it's awesome. So it's a channel that's run by 2 guys, and basically they review like random ass games. They usually do a lot of like sport related games, which is usually pretty funny, because I always find when you review like sport games, there's always a lot of jokes you can make, which I always found to be really funny. But yeah, these guys are pretty funny. So yeah, like they're 2 guys, they review games, and the way how they review them is very interesting and creative, because they usually like to give out like beers for like certain games, and of course, like if there's like one game that's like, like really like bad, they would like, it's like, hey, the type of beer you should drink with this game is like this really cheap, shitty beer or whatever. It's really funny and really creative. I really like that. So yeah, I know the people that run that channel do have like their own separate channels. I just can't remember the name of them there. But if you do go on the channel of Drink a Beer and Play a Game, it should be on there. But yeah, they're really nice people from what I've talked to them. But yeah, definitely some really good stuff there. So that will be the shoutouts for this month of September, and of course there will be more for like oncoming months and all that kind of good stuff. So now let's get into the pickup video. So the first few games I'm going to be talking about here are on the Atari, because ever since I got myself an Atari 2600 last month, I've been getting some games for it, and there's not a whole lot I can say about most Atari games because they're very simplistic, so I figured I might as well show them off here first. But one thing I will say before I do that is that I do plan on doing something special with these Atari games, but I don't know when that will happen, but you'll know soon enough. So anyways, so the first one here is Pole Position, and I actually got the manuals with these 4 games that I got for the Atari, which is quite surprising. And I actually really like these manuals, not just because they're big, but they also have like a lot of pictures, lots of color, and all that stuff. So, like, I just think that's really awesome. But, yeah. So, basically, Pole Position is pretty much it's pretty much a lot like Outrun, but instead of, like, using, like, a sports car, you're using a Formula 1 car, and, well, it's just a lot of fun. I really enjoy it a whole lot. Is, Jungle Hunt. And this game is pretty much a lot like Pitfall in a lot of ways, but you're like swinging on vines and you gotta jump over certain things. Like I know one of the things you get to jump over is called a cannibal, which is pretty funny. But yeah, definitely some really cool ass art in this one. And yeah, like I said, there's not a whole lot of things I could say about the game because it's very simplistic, but it is definitely a really good one to have on the Atari. And of course I really enjoy it a hell lot. So, the next one we got over here is one of my favorites, and that happens to be Berserk. And no, Not the anime, the game. Although the anime is actually one of my favorite animes, ironically enough. But yeah, so basically this is a game where you could like run around, kill robots or a maze, and it's just a really good time. In fact, the art book on this one's a bit more beaten up, but that's okay. It's still like intact. But yeah, you got some pretty cool art in this one as well. But one thing that is interesting about the game Berserk is that there's a lot of like clones and knockoffs of this game, and a lot of people think they're like the official sequel, but the actual official sequel is actually a game called Frenzy, which is kind of weird. But yeah, it's definitely a really awesome game. I love this one a whole lot. And then the last one, and this is one that I'm sure most people know about already because it's a classic, and that's Asteroids. And yes, Asteroids, what can I say here? It's just, ship in the center, comets on asteroids going around, and you just gotta shoot them all. And of course, like the music, like when there's less of them on the field, it gets faster, and it's really good, hell of a good time. So yeah, definitely, like, there's not a whole lot I can say. And this one's actually really thick, but that's because this one has multiple different languages in it. But yeah, seriously though, awesome fucking game. Now, I did get a newer system, but it's not, like, here in my room right now. It's actually hooked in with all, like, the other systems. I just didn't bring it out because I'm lazy and don't feel like unhooking it up and then rehooking it back in later. So, anyways, I just saved you the trouble and said I just posted a picture that will probably be right here in my editing software, but yeah, it's, I got a Master System, and this is actually kind of ironic since, a good friend of mine on YouTube, Xander Scullin, actually talked about the Master System recently on his video of games or systems that you missed out on as a kid, and yeah, that was one of his, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, believe it or not, I actually did play a Master System when I was younger. It was actually at my aunt's place, and they had games like Wonder Boy 1 and 2, and then there was Super Hang-On, and then there was Cloud Master. That game was hard with balls. And yeah, pretty much I played all those games over there, and it was a lot of fun. I never actually owned one. That was like the first and one and only time that I actually played on one. And yeah, now that I have one, I actually was able to play some of the older Master System games that I found like years ago, but I just never got the system for it because every time I've seen it, it was always like charged out the ass for it. But I actually did get a pretty good deal on this one there, so I was like, yeah, definitely gonna take it right now. And I've got a game for it. And this game is Captain Silver. And this game is actually complete in the box, by the way. Like, it even has the manual, which is, like, very bluish. But, yeah, this game is pretty great, actually. It's a platformer. It was originally released in the arcades, and then it got ported to Master System, and it also got a port for the Famicom, but that one only stayed in Japan, though. But yes, this is actually one of the rare chances that, a Master System game got a pretty cool cover art. I mean, it's not like the most amazing thing ever, but at least it doesn't look fucking half-assed. But yeah, I definitely love that pirate skeleton. That guy's badass looking. But yeah, anyways, it's a platformer where you're using Captain Silver, and you have a sword, you can shoot stars out of it, and you gotta collect letters, and it's a pretty good platformer, actually. I do enjoy it quite a bit. But yeah, definitely a really good Master System game for sure. So now, let's talk about like these three next games, and these three ones are actually found at a thrift store, and this one right here is called Ninja Gaiden, which I'm sure we all know, and yes, this is the reboot one where it's pretty much now a 3D hack and slash, and I really do enjoy those ones quite a bit. At least I really liked Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 on PS3, that one was really fun. But yeah, this is basically like the original one, and it's actually really good fun, I like it. It's also very difficult, which is to be expected for a Ninja Gaiden game. In fact, this is actually one of the games I remember hearing about, like back when like the Xbox was like actually new. And I remember this was one game I really wanted for it, but unfortunately, I didn't have one at the time. And this was actually the only exclusive outside of Halo and Blinks the Cat, I think it was, that I actually knew on the that were exclusive on the original Xbox. So yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get it for a long time. And then after when I did get an Xbox, I just kind of forgot about this game, but yeah, definitely a really good one, definitely love it a whole lot. Now this one over here is one that a lot of people I know have been saying it's like a really awesome, like highly recommended game, and that's Crimson Skies, and this is basically it's a World War II like flying game, but it's kind of like one of those flying games where you can like fly around your hub world, you do missions, you can like shoot down like other like planes and like blimps and such. It's actually a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed this one quite a bit, and the game actually looks really fucking amazing, like graphically. Like even though I'm playing on like my old TV, it still looks really nice. And the one thing I also really like about this one is that the main guy, like every time you shoot down planes, he makes like really cheesy one-liners, which is pretty great. But yeah, not a whole lot that I can say that hasn't already been said before. But yes, this is definitely a really good exclusive to the original Xbox. It's actually very cheap, and I just happened to find it at a thrift store. So I'm like, yeah, finally, I'm able to get this game now and finally playing it. Now, this last game that I found at the thrift store, this is actually a Gamecube game that I never really heard much of, but when I saw it, I just had to get it, and that was Super Bubble Pop. And this is a game, at first I thought it was like going to be like a spin-off to the series, like Bubble Bobble kind of thing, or Super Bust-A-Move, I should say. Like, that's what I thought it was going to be of, but no, it's actually its own original thing. It's actually published by Jellico, or Jelico, or whatever they're pronounced as. And it's actually a lot of fun. I actually, like, really been addicting to this game. Like, I've been playing it a lot. Like, every time I play it, I just don't want to put it down, because it's basically a puzzle game where, you know, you have, like bubbles that are, like, they're different colors. You gotta match them up to the same color, and they're, like, going down. So, like I said, it's a lot like Super Bust-A-Move, but at the same time, it's, like, 3D, and it's also another way, it's kind of like Tetris, because you can stack them up on top of each other. So, yeah, it's actually really interesting how it works, and it's really addicting, really good techno music, even though I'm not, like, a huge fan of techno, but there are some techno songs I do like, and the techno in this game is, for the most part, pretty damn good, so... Yeah, definitely a really cheap game that you can also get on multiple other systems. You can get it on the original Xbox, Gamecube, PS1, though you can't get it on PS2, which is kind of weird, but yeah, you can get it on PS1, but not 2. But anyways, though, this is definitely a really awesome game that I never really hear anyone talk about, and it's actually really cheap. I actually looked up how much it normally goes for just out of curiosity, and yeah, it's actually really cheap, too, so definitely worth picking up if you really do like puzzle games. Alright, so the next 4 games that we have now are NES games, and obviously no, I did not get these at a thrift store. I got them at a store around my area that actually opened up about a month or 2 ago. And this one right here is one I actually wanted for quite some time, and that's Kickle Cubicle. Now, the first time I ever heard about this game was actually from the Heavy Metal Gamer Show. He did a review on it, and he's also done a video blog with this game playing in the background, and it always really intrigued me, because it's like a puzzle game where you gotta like freeze like enemies and make blocks and you push them and then you gotta get all the food. It's actually really fun, and it's also very, very addicting. Every time I play this game, I just don't want to quit, because it's just that awesome. But one thing that is funny is that I do find the cover art for this game is like really fucking ugly looking, at least a picture of it anyways. Like, if I saw this game like back in the day, and just from judging from the cover, I'd say this game looks like shit, but man, like, if you actually play it there, it's actually a hell of a lot of fun. I really do enjoy this one quite a bit, so I'm very happy to have it, and of course I'm also very happy that, you know, I've played the hell of it on emulation and such, but yeah, definitely a really awesome game to have on NES. So the next one we have here is Castle of Dragon. Now, before I picked this game up, I actually got this game mixed up with another game I was thinking of that's actually very similar to this one, and that game happens to be Swordmaster. In fact, they're developed by the same company. And, yeah, this game is very similar to that, but not nearly as good. I mean, this game isn't, like, completely horrible, but it just has some things in it that really bug the shit out of me. I know one thing that I don't like is that it's really hard to evade enemies, and it's also, like, every time when enemies hit you, they, like, drain your health, which just pisses the fuck out of me, but, yeah, other than that, it does have some really good graphics, good music, and it kind of has, like, that whole, like, Ghosts and Goblins look to it in a sort of way. And, of course, I kind of like the armor that you can pick up in the game. It kind of looks like Guyver, which is pretty awesome. But, yeah, this game is really fucking hard, though, and it is also very frustrating, but, I would at least say it's playable. It's just really, really irritating at times. It is actually a game that someone requested me to play it on a stream, which I actually had the ROM of it there, but I never played it before until, you know, it was requested to me on that stream, and that's, Brewery Fighter, or, yeah, Brewery Fighter, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I believe the person that requested this was, Strider92, I'm trying to remember, I think that's what his name is, but, yeah, he's a really awesome dude, but, yeah, so basically he requested me to play this game on a stream, and I never played it before, and I just massively sucked at it. But then after, when I actually like found a copy of it, I was like, oh shit, they actually have this, and it's for a decent price. So I picked it up and I started playing it more, and well, I got way further than I did in the stream. But yeah, it's a really fun game. It's like a shoot 'em up, but you're using a dude, and you can like move around different directions. You pick up power ups, and you can level up the power ups. Like you get like ring shots, you get missile shots, and you get laser. I like the laser one because when you get it maxed out, it's like the laser that goes like all around your dude, which is awesome and helpful. But yeah, the one thing that is kind of crappy about the game is that it does have one-hit death, so you really got to be careful. But other than that, though, this game's actually really awesome, and I love it, and the music's really good too. But yeah, definitely a really good, affordable NES game that is also a shoot 'em up that's really fun and addicting. So now, this last NES game was not a game that I got at the store around my area. I actually found it at the convention that I was at last week. It was a very small convention. There wasn't a whole lot of stuff going on there, and of course I wasn't willing to spend a whole bunch of money there because, well, I spent a whole bunch, like, just prior to it. But anyway, so the one game I did found there, and it was the only game I found there, was Orchestra's Ring. Now, it's funny, I actually talked about this game in my favorite box art on NES because, well, as you know, the box art for this game, or the cover art, or whatever, is fucking awesome looking. I really like the bad dude in the background. Kinda looks like someone from the Valis games. But, yeah, basically, this is a game where it's kind of like a mix between Zelda and, Adventures of Lolo, and the reason why I say that is because it's like Zelda for the fact that not only is it a top-down view, you use items, and it also has a medieval setting, but it's like Adventures of Lolo because you gotta clear out all the enemies, and there's a lot of mazes, and at the same time you gotta collect a key and then get out of the area, and there's a whole bunch of stages. It's actually quite enjoyable. I really like it. It's very underrated considering I never really hear anybody talk about this game. But I guess it doesn't help with the fact that I only heard about it about like 2 months ago or so. But, yeah, this is definitely a pretty enjoyable game that I don't hear many people talk about. I'll probably have to do a more in-depth review about it because, well, that's just what I like doing. But yes, if this does sound interesting to you, I can definitely recommend it. It's very interesting and pretty damn fun. Alright, so the next two games that I got are Sega Saturn games, which I have not bought for that system in like over a year exactly, pretty much. And I think you can understand why. I mean, you know, a lot of the games for that system are really hard to come by, and even when you do find them, they're usually kind of expensive. But I did get a pretty decent deal on these, thanks to my local game store, so with that being said. So these two games right here are Road Rash, which is basically the, it's like an enhanced version of the first game, and one thing that's awesome about it is that the intro was actually done by Soundgarden, which is really cool. But yeah, it's typical good old, like, Road Rashness, you know, like it's a racing game on a motorcycle, and you beat the hell out of everyone. It's really fun and satisfying, and all that good stuff. I really enjoyed it a lot, and I just really wanted to get this there because it was actually a really good deal on it, and of course, you know, I don't even actually own a Road Rash game. This is actually the first one I ever owned, because most of the other ones I just played them at friends' houses, or, you know, I played them on emulation and such. But yeah, this is definitely a really good version to get, and originally I was planning on getting this one on the 3DO back when I had one, but yeah, I'll just get it on Saturn, although I was originally thinking about getting on PS1 because I'm sure it's easier to get, but hey, this will do for now. But either way, though, this is still a really good game, and of course a really good racing game, really fun and exciting, and all that good, awesome shit. Alright, so this next Saturn game, and it'll be the last one, and I'm pretty sure it'll probably be the last one for a little while, since this one is pretty hard to find. And I was very excited when I got it, because not only did I get a pretty good deal off it, but also because it's a game I was very interested in, and that is Iron Storm from Working Design, which with their shiny covers and their shiny backs, and of course their very nice looking manuals and all that good stuff. Now, the main reason why I was interested in this is because this is basically a tactical RPG, but based with like World War II, which is definitely interesting because, as you know, Working Design had mostly like published games that were like very anime related, but this is like the only one that's like not anime whatsoever, but it is pretty awesome looking. And I didn't play a whole lot of it because it's a really big game, and a lot of like missions will take like up to like an hour, which is like pretty insane. But yes, this game is pretty fucking hardcore because this game is very hard. It takes a very long time to go progress through the story. But of course, one thing that's really cool about this game is that you can actually change history with this game. Like sometimes you can either play it with like going through the main history of how it actually happened, or you can just change history in general, which is really cool, and I really like that. But yes, this is definitely a game that's not going to be for everyone, but as you know, I love tactical RPGs, so I was like, hell yeah, I'm definitely going to enjoy the hell out of this one. Just unfortunately, I haven't spent a whole lot of time on it, and it also doesn't help with the fact that I've been having a hard time saving on my Sega Saturn, because as you know, the whole battery issue thing, which kind of sucks, so I really need to go get myself that action replay for God's sakes, but... Anyways, though, but yes, this is definitely a really awesome game. I really love it myself, but like I said, I can totally understand why some people wouldn't get into it because it is very hard, very challenging, and, you know, this whole tactical feel to it is not for everyone. But yes, I really do enjoy it from what I played of this game, and I definitely would love to do a video on it at some point. So now, we're going to be moving on to the more current stuff, and... This game right here is a 3DS game. It's the only one I got this month. There's actually a whole bunch of 3DS games that have come out recently that I really want, but I just got this one just because why the hell not? And also, well, you know, it's a game that I really freaking love. And that's Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse, which is like the continuation of, you know, Shin Megami Tensei 4, which is an awesome game. And unfortunately, I barely played this game. Like, all I did was, oh, well, before I do explain that, it does come with some pins, which is really cool looking, but yeah, anyways. But yeah, as for the reason why I haven't really played this, there's another RPG that I'm going to be mentioning here that I've been playing a lot, so I've been playing that one, and this is one, all I did was like activate the pre-order bonus code, and that's it. I really do want to get into this one there, because as you know, I love Shin Megami Tensei, they're all really fucking good RPGs, usually love the story, love the setting, love like pretty much just about everything about them, so I'm definitely excited to get through this one, it might take me a little bit of time. Now, this is going to be moving on to the Vita games. This is one Vita game I haven't played yet, because, you know, same reason, but it's not an RPG, it's actually an action game, and that's Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls. And now, before I explain anything, I'm not going to show gameplay footage of this game, and the only reason why I'm not is because this game kind of takes place in between, you know, Danganronpa 1 and 2, and as you know, those are very story-oriented games, and this game takes place after 1, and it has to do with one of the survivor characters, so, you know, in case you are interested in any of the series of games, but you haven't played them, I'm just, you know, wanted to respect and be like, yeah, I'm not going to show gameplay footage. I do apologize for that. But anyways, this game is actually not so much a visual novel. I mean, it has visual novel elements as far as I can tell, but it is mostly a third-person action game. You gotta, like, run around and, like, beat the shit out of things and such, so I think I will definitely enjoy this one. It's just unfortunate I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet, but as you know, I really loved the first one and the second one, so I am looking forward to this one as well, but yeah, and it is also compatible with PlayStation TV, which is also a very good thing. Now, as for the last Vita game, this is the game that I've been playing the shit out of lately that I mentioned, the reason why I haven't been playing Shin Megami Tensei 4, and that happens to be Trails of Cold Steel 2, and man, I'll say it right now, this game might actually be my favorite RPG that I've been playing, like, for, like, recently, like, you know, like, within the recent years, it's probably one of my favorites, next to the first one, of course, but yeah, seriously though, if you haven't played the first one, don't play this one yet, because this game will spoil a lot of things, and of course this first one is also really fucking good, and has a really good ending to it that I'm not going to explain here, but yeah, so anyways, if you played the first one, you should definitely play this one, because so far, I'm only like 21 hours in, and I'm fucking loving every minute of it. Because seriously, really good continuation, really good battle system, made some really good tweaks to it, there's also more characters you can bond with, and there's also more, like, bonding opportunities, which is really good. So yeah, seriously though, if you have played the first one, definitely do go play this one at some point in time, because seriously, I fucking love it. Now, we're going to be moving on to the PS4 stuff, and there's only 2, and these are the last 2 games in general. And this one right here is Trackmania Turbo. And this is pretty much a racing game. Well, yeah, it is a racing game, obviously, duh. But it's a racing game where you can, like, create your own tracks and you do missions, and in a lot of ways, this game is kind of like Mario Maker, but, you know, with racing, which is pretty awesome. But I will say, though, making tracks in this game is kind of confusing at first, but I still need to get around the hang of it there. But I've been enjoying playing this one, like, casually, like, you know, sometimes I'll be, like, talking with, like, one of my other friends with party chat, and I'll just be playing this game. I would just want to relax and shit, because it's just a really good casual racing game that I do really like. Very arcadey feel, which, as you know, I prefer arcadey feel than realistic, but there are some realistic racing games that I do kind of like, but, you know, I just prefer arcadiness because, well, that's just what I like doing, is playing games that are very unrealistic. But anyways, though, this is definitely a really good racing game on PS4, very arcadey-like, and of course, it's also very cheap too, so that's always awesome. Now, as for the last game that I got, and this is a game that actually got a price drop very quickly, and I can kind of see the reason why they did. I mean, this game isn't bad by any means, it does need a little bit more work, I'd say. And this game is Arslan, the Warriors of Legend. And, like I said, this game is pretty good. I mean, it is a part of the Warriors games, which, you know, I'm a huge fan of, but this game is definitely not nearly as good as, like, I don't know, something like Dynasty Warriors 8, or even Fist of the North Star 2, or, Samurai Warriors 4. I wouldn't say it's as good as any of those, but, yeah, this game, like, the only issue I have with it is that the evasion is really annoying, and the fighting, like, some of, like, the bigger opponents, like, they have, like, regenerating shields, which just makes everything fucking tedious, but other than that, though, I do think the game is fairly good. Like, the controls, for the most part, aren't bad, the graphic style's really good, the music's good. It is based after an anime that I've never even heard of until this game came out, but I am interested in looking into it because from what I've played of this game and seen like the cutscenes and stuff, it does seem like it has an interesting story. It's just, you know, I just don't really know a whole lot about it, but it does seem interesting though. And it is kind of unfortunate that a game like this got a price drop when this game came out this year, when like a game like Transformers Devastation that came out last year, and that game is still like $50 brand new, which is fucking stupid. At least around here in Canada, by the way, in case you don't know, because I know in like the States it's a lot cheaper. But anyways, so I'll get that game eventually there. But anyways, though, this game is not bad. It's not the best Warriors game ever there, but it's definitely playable for sure. Alright, so that'll be the end of this pickup video for the month of September, and you know, like I always say, hopefully there's something in here you might have interest in, or something you didn't know about, or you know, any of that kind of stuff, because that's one of the reasons why I do pickup videos. And you know, I know I already explained that in that one response video I did, the Black Metal Gamer there, but yeah, anyways though. So one thing I will say before I end this video, even though I know it's gone like way too long, is that I'm going to be doing a lot of streams within October because, you know, October is like pretty much like horror month pretty much, which I love. And of course there's going to be one game, I'm pretty sure you can probably take a guess what it is, that I'm going to be doing a stream on. And well, I just can't wait to do it because I think it'll be a lot of fun. And of course it might have its slow moments, but for the most part I think it'll be a pretty good time. And of course, there's also going to be some horror-themed like games I'm going to be doing reviews on, and you know, all that kind of good stuff. So, anyways, so with that being said, thank you for watching and commenting, and have yourselves a great day.